I've just come across this article. It's on The Sun about Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Apparently, in a rematch, the WBA will not be on the line, so I'm going to read it quickly here. The two unbeaten champions are in talk to put every heavyweight title on the line for the first time. But the WBA have already ordered Daniel Dubois to fight Usyk, while the IBF have done the same for Filip Hrgović. The unification will supersede the pair of mandatory challenges, meaning the historic undisputed decider is on track. Okay, although Frank Warren has admitted it could be after relinquishing some of the gold. So, what it's... I mean, I absolutely hate how they've written all this here. I just want to see it literally in plain English. But by the sounds of it, the WBA is first in line to call their mandatory. They're not going to call it, but they will after the first Fury versus Usyk fight. But the IBF will still hold steady until after the rematch. Now, this to me, it just shows how clever Frank Warren actually is, because when you think about it, if Tyson Fury wins the fight, he gets stripped of the WBA, and then Dubois goes and fights a vacant for it, and he wins. That gives Dubois a better chance of winning, and it gives Frank Warren another champion, and another cash-out fight if Tyson Fury decides to become undisputed again and fight Daniel Dubois. And again, if Usyk if Usyk wins, it's the exact same situation. He can get another cash-out fight with a undisputed fight, or let's say Tyson Fury or Usyk win, it doesn't matter which, and they retire, he still has a champion, so he can get another cash cow. He could probably get Joe Joyce to fight for a vacant, and then them two to unify. This just shows how many steps ahead Frank Warren actually was from Eddie Hearn in terms of his strategy. With Frank Warren, 10 years ago, people were writing him off. He was with Box Nation. He literally had Derek Chisora, and that was it. And you think, in the space of 7 years, because 2012 to 2019, that's when he signed... No, he signed Tyson Fury in 2014, I believe. 2 years later, he had Tyson Fury, got him to beat Vladimir Klitschko, and now he has one of the biggest money draws in one of the biggest cash cows in the world in Tyson Fury, a guy who really, he doesn't really have to promote. He sort of self-promotes Tyson Fury. He has signed lots of the big prospects in the heavyweight division, two of the main ones, which is Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce, whereas Eddie Hearn really fell short. I think he co-promotes Filip Hrgović. Hrgović is not a big draw, even though Hrgović may win the IBF and who knows, become the next unified champion. He's not a big draw at all. He hasn't done a very good job of promoting him. Frank Warren is resourceful as anybody in the game, because he was literally ready to go. He was ready to go. He was on his last legs, and he just sprouted another pair of them. You know, this is this is why it's important to go with people with track record, because, okay, Frank Warren has somewhat of a tainted track record in some ways. You know, he's had legal disputes with his fighters and all of this, but he has consistently got his fighters opportunities. You think he got Nathan Cleverly, the WBO light heavyweight title, and Nathan Cleverly had fought literally nobody of note. We saw the difference in level between Cleverly and Sergey Kovalev, and since then, who's he really beat? Really, basically nobody. I remember James DeGale versus George Groves. That was on the undercard, I believe, of Cleverly Bellew. Actually, I think it was Cleverly just defending against some other guy. But that was on the undercard, and many people saw that as the main event, because he knew signing James DeGale was a good idea, because he obviously was talented, but he was such a good talker. That fight sold amazingly well, with George Groves being a haymaker fighter. David Hay at the time was the biggest fighter in England. He that fight sold amazingly well. I'm pretty sure they got paid something like £1 million each for a British title fight. And then straight afterwards, he signs George Groves. He signs the winner. I personally think Dillian White should sign with Frank Warren, because I think Frank Warren has a much better clue on how to rebuild people's confidence, but also rebuild their reputation with the British public. So tell me what you think of this. Like I said, I'm a bit rusty. I've been really unwell. I keep catching tonsillitis. It's cold and flu season. I've been really unwell, stupidly busy. I had to work yesterday on Christmas. But tell me what you think. Frank Warren is resourceful as anything, isn't he? It's not like, say, Bob Arum, where he's had some dips and valleys, but from my memory, nothing like this. He's always stayed consistent. Al Heyman, he's fallen into a pitfall, and he's not clawing himself out. Eddie Hearn, he seems to have done a bad deal with his own by the looks of it, and he doesn't seem to be getting any better. He's losing fighters left, right, and centre. Frank Warren is here to stay for as long as he's breathing. He's going to be promoting, and by the looks of it, he's taught his kids extremely well on how to actually promote and stay in it for the long haul. So tell me what you think. Thank you very much. You have yourself a good day. Thank you.